Hello, welcome back. It's Miss Myers. I am going to teach you your first stitch today. So we went over a lot of information last time, and I hope that you had time to set up everything that you needed today. So what you need is your hoop with your piece of fabric and then some lines on it. Just for our practicing, we're going to use lines. Where I use the friction pen and it will erase with heat, so later I can put a blow dryer on it or apply an iron and the lines will erase. If you just use a pencil, that's fine. The only problem with a pencil is that they do not erase. So the first thing we're going to do is I cut my string about 12 inches. We need to tie the end. So remember, we're going to take the end, we're going to wrap it around like a scarf on our finger. I pull my finger out and I take the tail and put it in the hole and pull. So you can try to wrap it 2 times to get 2 knots. That way it doesn't go through. And so you should have I tried to line up my knot. That is definitely something that with practice and with time you will get better at. Because the fabric or the thread is so thick, I am just going to wet it, squeeze it real thin in my fingers, and then put it through the needle eye, the eye of the needle. Last time I had a problem with this too, didn't I? Probably the hardest part. Which is good, because if you learn how to do that and get good at that, you'll be ready to go. So now I have an end. The end has a knot. I threaded this on and I just make it go down about a hand's length, and that's just the tail that I'm not going to keep pulling on. Now we put our knot. We always start from the back, so the bottom, and I usually drag my needle so that I can see it, and I drag it until the point, and then I pull it through. When you pull it, you're just going to hold on to the needle and the thread like this and then pull it all the way. That way you're never pulling the needle off, because nobody wants to start over and do that. Now you're going to go in on the line, and then let's flip it over. That's where we started. We can pull the needle. And so the front should look like that now. So if we're out the back, we have to go in the back, and if we're out the front, we have to go in the front. So let's start again. The running stitch skips a little bit, like a dashed line. So I'm gonna go in. I dragged my needle until I see it on the line, and pull it. It should be tight, so there's no thread hanging out back here. Same thing. I pulled it and I held onto the end of the needle and the thread. And then we're gonna go in again. Top part is easy because you can see it a lot better where the pattern is. So out the front, in the front, pull it through. And then we're gonna do the same thing. We pulled it all the way through to the back. I am going to use just the same distance as my stitch. I'm gonna pull it back in. This video will not be an hour long, but you will definitely have some work time to practice this stitch and try to finish the whole line all by yourself. So I came out the back. I'm gonna go in the back, and I just drag the needle until I'm on the line, where I want to be. Now, one of the things I've noticed that I make a lot of mistakes, and we're all gonna make mistakes because that's the learning curve, but also I still make mistakes, and one of the biggest things is how do you get through those mistakes? When I have an issue, and sometimes this will be my issue, where I go in the front, it's gonna wrap around the side like this, I can undo my needle and pull it out. So if this is frustrating, or if you're having a moment, I just think you should put it down, take a few deep breaths, maybe come back to it later when you're calmer, because honestly, you just want to try to get this stitched down by next week. My other advice is just to know that this is going to take you a long time. Yours is not going to look like mine. You are just beginning. I've been doing this for a long time. So the nice thing is you will get better with practice. And it's one of those art forms that you can take with you everywhere. Oops, see, little mistakes happen. Good thing the needle didn't come off. I'm also gonna teach you if threading the needle is a lot and too hard. Today I'm gonna teach you how to split the thread. All right, so now that I've finished that line, you always wanna finish with the thread coming out the back. So the back is where our messy part's gonna be, and the front is where the nice, pretty part is gonna be. Let me show you on this dinosaur. So remember these dinosaurs I showed you? The back is where all the knots and the messy part is going to be. So same thing here, how I tie this off. I'm gonna teach you my way. So I'm gonna take the needle off. Your string might be shorter than mine, and you can see now that the thread is made up of tinier threads. So I'm gonna split it. I'm gonna have 3 and 3. Take it all the way down. It does get a little twisty. Sometimes it helps to let the hoop hang and take it out. I'm going to teach you 2 ways to knot this also, because this gets super twisted and a little bit harder. In fact, I'm going to make this easier for all of us. I'm going to cut it. Now, split it. And then this is going to be easy because it's like tying your shoe, the first part. Make an X, put the hoop in, or the tail in, pull it. I do that 2 times to secure it. Make an X, put the tail in, pull it. And then I always just cut this little extra part off so that it doesn't get in the way when I do another. And so that is your basic running stitch. Kind of looks like it's going in and out like a dashed line. If you would like to use less thread, because it's super hard to get this into the needle eye, and it is too hard to use the tool because it's too thick, I would like you to take your thread and you can split it. So you would have a strand that's just 3 tiny threads long. Do the same knot at the bottom, make a circle, put the tail in, pull it, do that again, make a circle, put the tail in, and pull it. And then when I go to this side, this is an experiment for me. If you have those nice sewing scissors, you can get a nice clean edge. This will still be a little bit of an experiment because I gave up on this tool. If you want to use this tool, you bring it in, let it hang down, and then slide the needle off, and hopefully slide it right onto This tool, I tell you. Oh yeah, it worked that time. Slide it on, then take the tool off. It's a little bit knotted. And that's one way to do it. So you could do it that way. When you slide it off, keep your hand really close to the eye of the needle so that the needle doesn't bend and crack. So that's one way, if that's a little easier for you, to get it done. So this week, running stitch, keep practicing threading the needle in the eye. And if you haven't already done so, organize your threads. And if you want to send your work to me, you can send it to me in the Google Classroom, or you can send me an email. Every week that you check in, I am going to send you a gift at the end if you keep strong and stay with it, so that I can influence the next generation of embroidery artists. Have a great week. Bye.